Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Priyanshi Sharma. Our lead story. The Reserve Bank of India has said it will withdraw 2,000 rupee notes from circulation. But importantly, the bank has clarified that these notes will still remain legal tender. So what has really changed and what should you do? The Reserve Bank has said that people who have 2,000 rupee notes should either exchange them with lower denomination notes or they should deposit them in bank accounts. But this deposit or exchange can only be done till the 30th of September, and you can only exchange 10 2,000 rupee notes at one time. You can exchange your notes from the 23rd of May to the 30th of September, but even after that date, the notes will continue to be legal tender, meaning you can still make payments with these 2,000 rupee notes and they will be acceptable currency across the country. But why has the Reserve Bank done this? The central bank says that other denominations are available in adequate quantities, and secondly, it said that 2,000 rupee notes are not commonly used in the country. According to the RBI's own data, these notes made up around 13% of the currency in circulation the last financial year, so they are now being withdrawn. But this move has also attracted reactions. The former finance minister of the country, P. Chidambaram, said that as expected, the government and the RBI have withdrawn the 2,000 rupee notes, and he says that with this, demonetization has come full circle. Moving on to the other big story, the central government has issued a new ordinance reclaiming its control on Delhi's administration and its bureaucrats. This after the Supreme Court gave the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi full control over bureaucrats. But now the central government's ordinance says that a central authority will decide on the transfer and posting of bureaucrats in Delhi. The centre with this has taken the power back over the bureaucrats in the national capital, overturning the Supreme Court judgment that gave the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi the full control over bureaucrats. Congress leader and senior Supreme Court advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who argued for the Delhi government in this case, said that this is an act of a poor, bad and a graceless loser. My colleague Ankit Tyagi joining us for more details on this. And Ankit, this ordinance completely overturns the Supreme Court judgment that came last week. So is the Aam Aadmi Party planning to take this legally forward? What are you hearing?
Well, that's the next logical step as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. They are going to go to the court and challenge this ordinance. But it does, and I was speaking to some senior members of the Aam Aadmi Party, it is a blow as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. Long battle, 8-year long battle as far as the transfer posting and the Aam Aadmi Party's of the Delhi government's control over the services department of the government of Delhi is concerned, which was given to them by the Supreme Court, and some very clear, proper and scathing remarks were also made by the Supreme Court in the order regarding this matter. Now, this ordinance, essentially what it does is it gives the power back to the Lieutenant Governor, which was in fact freed up by the Supreme Court and given to the government of Delhi. Now, it had, as soon as the order had come from the Supreme Court, there was some confrontation between the bureaucrats and the Aam Aadmi Party government on certain issues. Remember, a couple of days back, the secretary who was in charge of the services department, the minister in charge of that department were both at loggerheads, Mr. More and Mr. Saurabh Bharadwaj. Today, the LG has signed has given an approval, in fact, signed that file for the new secretary as far as services are concerned. And by this evening, this order has come. So it has done two things. A, it has completely given the power back to the Lieutenant Governor, because he will, even the national authority, the National Capital Services Authority, which has been made, in which there will be 3 members, the Chief Minister, the Chief Secretary and Principal Secretary Home. Remember, the Chief Minister largely is in minority in that as well, because both of the other appointees are by the central government at this moment, and the Chief Minister would not be able to push through any transfer or postings or any other matter through this authority. Even if he does, the final approval will have to be of the Lieutenant Governor. So everything the Supreme Court had said has more or less been negated by this ordinance. Though remember, this ordinance will have to go through the scrutiny of the Parliament whenever the next session does come in. But before that, the Aam Aadmi Party would be hoping that there is some sort of judicial intervention, because this is, as for them, completely contrary and has been brought in to undermine the Supreme Court's constitutional bench decision.
That's right, Ankit. It is clearly overturning that Supreme Court judgment that came last week. Thanks very much for joining us. And as Ankit mentioned, that the Supreme Court, while delivering that judgment, had made very scathing remarks, saying that the control of bureaucrats should remain with the elected government and not the centre. But this ordinance has brought the situation back to square one, putting the power back in the hands of the centre. My colleague Sunil Prabhu also gets us more details on this new ordinance.
That's right, Priyanshi. In fact, it goes back, there was a 5-judge bench which finally decided on this matter, and one would have hoped that in letter and spirit, the 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court would have been accepted. But that's now clear that the cabinet, which met yesterday, has finally decided to give that authority back to the Lieutenant Governor. Technically, the authority consists of the Chief Minister, the Chief Secretary and the Home Secretary, and all have equal powers. So Chief Minister of a state who is duly elected by the people will have a vote along with the Chief Secretary and the Home Secretary as per this new ordinance. And more importantly, in case there are differences with the Lieutenant Governor and in case he doesn't agree, he can send it back to this authority. And if the authority does not accept it, then he will go back to the Lieutenant Governor, and his ruling will be of utmost importance and will be the final authority. This is exactly what was attempted at least 7 to 8 years ago. And that's the reason why it went to the court, and it had a long proceeding in the Supreme Court. Finally, 5 judges unanimously gave the verdict in favor of allowing, except for land, public order and police, the authority to the duly elected government in the state of Delhi. Now, with this ordinance, the government of India, the Narendra Modi government aims to undo it. We'll have to wait and see politically how they're going to do it. Lok Sabha, yes, they have the numbers. In the Rajya Sabha, they don't technically have the numbers. And this is going to be seen as an issue of an attack on federalism. And clearly, it will have a huge amount of political repercussions, apart from the fact that you're taking on the judiciary not even a week after it passed its Supreme Court order.
And as Sunil Prabhu mentioned, the political repercussions and the controversies are already clear. The Aam Aadmi Party says that this ordinance has been introduced as the central government, the BJP, is scared of the Arvind Kejriwal government in Delhi, while the BJP, of course, welcomes this ordinance by the centre.
केंद्र सरकार जो ये अध्यादेश लेकर आई है, ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट की संवैधानिक पीठ के फैसले की साफ साफ अवमानना है। लेकिन आज जो अध्यादेश केंद्र सरकार लेकर आई है, वो उस हार के डर से, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की सरकार को पावर देने के डर से वो ये अध्यादेश लेकर आई है। तो ये साफ नजर आता है कि केंद्र सरकार अरविंद केजरीवाल से डरी हुई है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले से डरी हुई है, और उसकी वजह से ये अध्यादेश लेकर आई है जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले की अवमानना है।
देखिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस अध्यादेश का स्वागत करती है, और ये अध्यादेश बहुत ही आवश्यक हो गया था। जिस दिन माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने यह फैसला दिया, एक कंफ्यूजन ऐसा क्रिएट किया गया कि नेशनल कैपिटल टेरिटरी, जिसको यूनियन टेरिटरी कहा जाता है, केंद्र शासित प्रदेश, वहां पर सर्विसेज को लेकर के एक बड़ा कंफ्यूजन था। और उसमें आज अध्यादेश ला करके, मतलब कानून बना करके, केंद्र सरकार ने उस कंफ्यूजन को दूर कर दिया है कि केंद्र शासित प्रदेश का जो भी सर्विसेज है वो एलजी के साथ है। अब इस पे किसी को किसी प्रकार का कंफ्यूजन नहीं है।
Another big story of the day, a Supreme Court appointed panel of experts examining India's regulatory mechanism in an investigation linked to the Hindenburg allegations on the Adani Group has given a clean sheet to SEBI, saying that it appears there was no regulatory failure on the part of the market regulator SEBI. The experts committee, comprising of domain experts, has also said that there was no price manipulation on the part of the Adani Group and that the conglomerate had taken necessary steps to comfort retail investors.
So for today, for the Adani Group, it's a very happy day. You yourself had pointed out in your introductory remarks that they have also gone ahead and said that the Adani Group has in fact, apart from continuing with its normal course of business, gone ahead and taken certain steps to mitigate and to ensure that investor confidence is restored.
I think, when you look at the collectivity of the evidence, the collection of evidence that has been gathered in the report and using high quality data, it is very difficult to actually say that there has been something hanky-panky that's been done.
Sure.
And bottom line is, if you don't have the evidence, if you don't have the smoking gun, then you cannot pin it on fraud.
Well, from what the report shows, as of today, it has not found any malfeasance or misfeasance on the part of the Adani Group, whether it be a case of stock price manipulation, whether it be a case of complying with related party transactions, whether it be a case for keeping minimum public shareholding, etc., etc. The report seems to suggest that there is no material to support any of these accusations which were being flung against the group earlier.
And as this report was in favor of the Adani Group, the Adani Group stocks led the gains in the markets today as the market snapped a 3-day losing streak. Sensex gained 298 points and ended at 61,730, while Nifty gained 73 points and it ended at 18,203. Adani Group stocks were the top gainers after the Supreme Court expert panel report came out. Adani Enterprises shares were up 3%, while the shares of Adani Ports were up 4%. Time for a short break now. More news on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now the government has issued a clarification on the 20% tax collected at source for credit card transactions abroad. The government has now set a threshold for the tax collected at source on credit card spends abroad. Remember, 2 days ago, the Finance Ministry had said that all credit card transactions made in a foreign currency will attract a 20% tax collected at source. But now the government has said that this tax will only be applicable on credit card transactions abroad that are above 7 lakh rupees per financial year. So there will be no 20% tax on credit card transactions below 7 lakh rupees per financial year. So transactions below 7 lakh rupees per financial year have been excluded from the RBI's liberalized remittance scheme, taking away this 20% tax. And even if you pay a tax, you can claim a refund at the end of the financial year in the income tax return filing. And moving on, it's the countdown to Karnataka's grand swearing in on Saturday. The Karnataka CM designate Siddaramaiah and the Deputy Chief Minister designate DK Kumar were in Delhi to hold discussions with the High Command on the cabinet. But the suspense on that still remains while the Congress party is planning for a big show of strength of opposition parties at the swearing in ceremony. Take a look at our report.
Lunch at a famous South Indian restaurant in Delhi for Karnataka CM designate Siddaramaiah. As the Congress's Big Two made yet another trip to Delhi just hours before the swearing in of the new state government, the delicate task at hand for CM designate Siddaramaiah and his deputy DK Kumar. Selecting a cabinet that strikes a balance in representation from all communities, regions, factions and also from among the old and new generations of legislators.
We have a long way to go. We have to implement this guarantee. That is the priority and we will do it.
This time for sure the arrangements are on in full swing at Kejriwal Stadium for the swearing-in ceremony that is scheduled for tomorrow. The last time, yes, the arrangements were on and it was put on pause by Delhi after they got a call saying that the talks are still on between DK Shiv Kumar and Siddaramaiah. But now that things have been sorted, what you see is a full-fledged arrangement plan that is on, right from seating arrangements that are being considered to the red carpets that are being laid out, and you have several other people who have been working day and night here to ensure that the swearing-in ceremony will take place as per schedule.
Another tricky area for the Congress right after settling the who will be CM question. How to send out a message of a united opposition ahead of the crucial 2024 Lok Sabha election. If some top opposition faces skip the swearing-in. Not invited, Delhi Chief Minister Kejriwal, Telangana CM KCR, West Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee invited but to skip. All Congress CMs invited to attend. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar invited to attend. Congress sources say at least 15 cabinet ministers will be sworn in after Siddaramaiah and DK Shiv Kumar take oath. In Bengaluru with Kumar, Shrija for NDTV.
And moving on, a popular Chinese clothing app Shein is set to make a comeback in India in partnership with Reliance Retail. This after the Chinese fashion giant's platform was banned in India in June 2020 as a part of the government's ban on dozens of Chinese apps amid border tensions. But Shein has been surrounded by several controversies outside India as well, including allegations of human rights violations and violations of labor laws as well. Here's our report.
Among the nearly 60 Chinese apps banned by the government after clashes with China along the LAC in 2020, Shein is set to re-enter the Indian market in partnership with Reliance Retail. The fast fashion brand was banned after the Indian government said that these apps were against India's sovereignty and integrity, given our tense border relations with China. Many see the brand's re-entry in the Indian market against national interests.
This can't be seen as a single case. In fact, what we find is that many of the Chinese companies, they have set up their production units elsewhere. Perhaps Shein has also done so by shifting the headquarters to Singapore. And our industry has been suffering because of these Chinese companies shifting to ASEAN countries. This time Shein is having two shields. One, they are coming through Singapore, and second, they are coming with the help of Reliance.
Over the years, the brand has been mired in controversy. As per reports, the brand forced workers to toil away in unfit conditions inside Chinese factories. Swiss advocacy groups claim that the workers were made to do excessive overtime by the fashion giant. Shein has also come under fire for allegedly mistreating the Uyghurs, a marginalized ethnic group in China. Following the accusations, a group of US lawyers urged the country's apex market regulator to reveal possible forced labor practices ahead of the company's IPO in the US. Shein, however, said it has no suppliers in the region where the ethnic group is located. Shein has also been pulled up for an environmentally unsustainable model. As per reports, the company leaves nearly 6 million tons of carbon dioxide in its heavy production trail. The brand's possible comeback in India, meanwhile, has many, like 26-year-old Harshita, who calls herself a plus-size fashion influencer, thrilled.
I love Shein. They're the most cost-effective when it comes to clothing, which is funky and which is readily available, especially for plus size. When it went away, I couldn't find any replacement. So I'm really looking forward to Shein because Shein was like my go-to place. And when it comes to the whole China thing, I think people still export and import to China. I myself land up buying from a Fashion Nova or Chic Me ever since Shein was not available. But I used to pay heavy customs. So जो लेने वाला है वो तो लेता ही है.
Reliance has not commented on NDTV's query seeking a response on the reports. Shein happens to be one of the most popular fast fashion brands globally. However, in the past couple of years, there have been several reports and investigations that have pointed out to human rights violations during production of such fast fashion products. And at the same time, they have revealed how environmentally unsustainable their production and model is. Fast fashion continues to be very popular amongst youngsters, but it comes at a huge cost to us and the planet. In New Delhi with camera person Pooja Arya, Vedant for NDTV.
That's all we have for you in this show. Thanks so much for watching. News continues on the other side. Stay tuned.